Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew. I'm continuing to do the, I guess we can call it Top 5 Wednesday Rewind, in which I'm just going to discuss any Top 5 Wednesday topic that I never discussed that I wanted to discuss. So I'm just gonna do it. And I'm gonna leave the Goodreads group in the description box down below for topics and such. So this week I wanted to talk about the characters that I find I'm the most like, which is a topic that I think is so fun. And it also, there's always that conversation of like, is the one that you're the most like if you find characters that you like and relate to, is that more likely to be a favorite series of yours? And these are also all favorite books of mine. So I guess for me, the answer is yes. But let's just talk about, I actually have 6 characters, but 4 characters are by the same, some of them are the same author. So I feel like but we're talking about 4 different books here. So it's not really top 5, but it's 6 characters. So it evens out. Number 5 character, most like myself, is Lazlo Strange. Basically just because he's a librarian, not that I'm a librarian, but he is obsessed with fantasy, fictional worlds. I mean, I think any fantasy reader, I think is gonna connect to him on a certain level, but he's also a cinnamon roll and he's very caring, but he's very sweet baby cinnamon roll. And I guess I kind of think of myself like that sometimes. Like I just, I'm a little sensitive, I guess, not in like a easily offended kind of way, but like I just relate to Lazlo Strange on a lot of levels, and I love him. And I actually loved the beginning of this book so much. Like I loved the whole book, but I loved the beginning. And Lazlo just as a character, like instantly attached. Number 4, we're gonna say Stevie Bell from Truly Devious. That's because she has anxiety and I also have anxiety, but she also loves murder mystery podcasts, Agatha Christie, Sherlock Holmes, which I love the Sherlock Holmes TV show. I've read, the only book I've given 5 stars this year is an Agatha Christie book. So I have always loved mystery media, like I've always loved it. So it's just so good. And Stevie is kind of a compulsive character. So I'm not sure I would say I relate to her on that aspect, but I do love Stevie as a character, and I do see a little bit of myself in her. So I feel like I'm also kind of like her as a character. Next up, we've got number 3 and number 2 from the Diviners, and that's Henry Dubois and Evie O'Neill. Now I relate more to Evie, I feel like, than Henry, but Henry is a gay man from the South. And same, so I do relate to him on that level. And again, he's kind of a sweet cinnamon roll character. I feel like I'm saying this, and that makes me sound like, obviously people can interpret me different than I interpret myself, but I like to think that I am like a nice, kind person. I try to be, all that good stuff. So I relate to him in that aspect. But Evie is someone who, she's kind of selfish, and she kind of puts her own needs above other people. So here we are. I mean, I'm also talking about things that aren't my best qualities here, but she has there's a certain line in one of the books in the series where she says, because she jokes around all the time and because she's constantly poking fun at things, why should anyone ever take her seriously? And like, just the character analysis I could do on Evie O'Neill and comparing her to myself, like she could be my number, like her and the next 2 characters, like I see myself in all of them. I just see myself in all these characters, and I love all of these characters. But Evie O'Neill has my heart like nobody else, because she jokes in places and times that she shouldn't, and she has all this dark humor, but she also wants to be taken seriously in this way where, and there's like, it's like italicized in the book where she's like, this time I'm gonna get it right, and this time, like, I just can't get over how much I love this series, and I will never be over it, and I will always talk about it probably forever. Like, it's always going to be, it's gonna show up a lot in these Top 5 Wednesday videos. So, but Evie O'Neill is absolutely fantastic. She's an amazing character, and so many people hate her, and I'll defend her forever. Okay, so we've got number 2 and number 1 are both from The Mortal Instruments, and that's Simon and Alec. And Alec I relate to in the whole sensitive, sweater-wearing, soft boy, gay kind of way. And Simon I relate to in the super nerdy, interested in like D&D, like focusing on like video games, like just like stuff like that. Like I just love Simon. Simon is my favorite Mortal Instruments character. And Alec, and especially in the first like 2 or 3 books of the Mortal Instruments, Alec is not my favorite character. But as you read more and more books by Cassandra Clare, Alec just becomes one of the most, like, just has like the best arc. Like, he has such a fantastic arc, especially by the time you get to like Queen of Air and Darkness. Like, just Alec as a character he means so much, like so much to me. Like, Alec existing in this book, and like literally Cassandra Clare trying to fight to include LGBT characters in her books in 2007 when it was unheard of, and people were saying it was bad to include it because it wasn't good, even though they don't even, like, there is not a scene of 2 boys kissing in this book. Like, Simon and Alec, like, Alec means so much. Like, he just means so much to me as a character. I don't relate to him as much in the first book, and I relate to Simon more so, but I absolutely adore Simon and Alec, and especially the more books you read, Alec is just, like, your characters have to start off shitty. If you start your character where they're a terrible person, there's only one way they can go. I mean, they could get worse from that, I guess. They could just get worse and worse and worse, but Alec is such a fantastically well-written character. And Simon is just kind of this comic relief thing that I was talking about kind of with Evie, and maybe kind of joking in times that he shouldn't, but just also his nerdy self, like just the things he's interested in and what he, obviously I'm interested in fantasy and Simon's interested in fantasy, so I kind of relate to him also, like how I do with Lazlo in that sense. So all of these characters have a little bit of, I see a little bit of myself in all of them. So there you go. So I would love to hear which characters you guys relate to the most, or you feel you see yourself the most in whichever books. I just find that fascinating. I will also leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. It will all be in my description. I think that's all. Have a great day. Bye.